Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to FTB Interactions. So, since the last episode, I have been busy working. If we pop out here, I just want to show you a couple things, and then we're going to move on to today's project, which will be one of the only full episodes probably that we spend on automation for HV, because I'm going to be just kind of working on that progressively. But we're going to be automating with HV a little bit differently today than how we have our LV machines automated. So at this point at HV, we're going to be transferring over basically everything from LV to HV, and then adding a lot of new stuff. But you can see up here, I did go ahead and set all of this up. So basically, we have separate tanks here. This one is our diesel tank, sulfuric naphtha, and sulfuric gas tanks. And the way that it works is we have indoor fluid conduits pulling all this stuff out, sending it up, and if you take a look here, we do have a basic fluid filter, and this is set to blacklist diesel. So anything but diesel can go into the trash can, priority of 0. But if you notice here, we have priority 1 and priority 1 on the sulfuric byproducts. So it prioritizes sending them there, and then it has fluid providers that provide these to the system. And then in addition, you'll notice that we have a priority 0 here. We have a priority 10 here. This is basically taking diesel, sending it into the fluid transfer node. So it's prioritizing, or it should be prioritizing. Why did it stop? Unless that's a visual bug, which it may be. Okay, yeah, that's just a visual bug. There we go. There we go. It's updated now. All right. So anyways, visual bug there, but that's how that's set up. So I just wanted to update you guys. Up here, I have spent a bit just building up here. And you will notice down here, our trophies are gone. I did move those over and now have them set up in this area. I like this a little bit more, and it's going to give us space for all of our trophies as we progress, because we have a lot more space up here than we did right down there. So we'll kind of do trophy hauls down through here as we progress forward, which we're going to be getting some trophies pretty soon, because after we finish our HV push, which is like this episode, we're going to start working towards going into space. Will be one of our next projects, and then probably working on some magic mods also. But you can see I have built out, of course it's not done, I don't even have the walls on the exterior walls on most of this, but I have been building this out, and got a lot of this space built out there on my sugarcane. And then these are probably going to be windows so you can see in. I have done a little bit of work over on this side though, and this is where we're going to be working today. Now what I've done is I've placed out all of just the basic stuff. That's pretty straightforward. So basically we have, this was a very expensive episode to prep for. I actually crafted the 40 electric motors for the HV tier, you know. Because usually we craft those before we start into any heavy automation, and of course we've already done the circuits. I did go ahead and craft out the 40 electric motors, and I still did not have enough and still had to craft out more of them. I have not crafted a conveyor or a robot arm because I haven't made any machines that necessitate those. But you can see over here we have 2 turbo diesel generators. These are feeding into this right here. This is 4 times signal and cable. And then I have 3 here, which are once again feeding into 4 times signal and cable. You can see some item conduits ran about. We're going to get into this stuff. Also some fluid conduits ran about. And some logistics pipes ran about. We're going to be covering all of that today. And if you take a look over here, I've got the same thing on this side. Pretty much mirrored to the setup over there. Now all this bits of cobblestone here, if we come out here, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But you can see these cobblestone towers, that's where eventually there's going to be generators, our diesel generators set up in those spots. But right now I don't, not so much that I don't have the materials, I just don't have the patience to craft out all of the diesel generators right this second. At least until we get it automated, because I don't want to have to manually craft too much moving forward. Now right here you're going to notice a fluid supplier. This is saying keep 19,000 millibuckets of diesel in this portable tank. This one is not being fed by our node system. This is actually being fed by our logistics system that keeps this, keeps diesel in that. So And this is where we're going to be working today. Now inside this chest I do have a number of machines crafted up. I have 4 advanced bending machine 2s, I have 2 advanced wire mill 2s, I have 6 advanced polarizer 2s. The reason I have more of those than everything else is simply due to the fact that they are actually very cheap to craft. So I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and make all of these because they are so cheap. We have 2 advanced lathe 2s, 2 advanced electric furnace 2s, 2 universal macerators, and 2 advanced compressors. I'm only going with 2 of each. I went with 4 bendings because we have 2 different sets of bending machines that we're going to be setting up this episode. Eventually there's going to be 6 of all these machines, potentially more, but this is kind of our starting point for HV automation. Because like I said, we're going to be going a lot bigger than what we went with LV. LV, we just had 1 of each machine and things took a while to craft. You know, it was something like whenever I was prepping for things, I'd cube it up and then I'd go off and do something else while it was crafting. I want stuff that crafts a lot faster, and we'll definitely be able to pull that off in this episode. At least for these machines, and then I'll have to make assemblers and things like that. But assemblers we're going to handle slightly different. I don't know if we'll get to those this episode or not. I may just quickly cover them next episode. I'm just kind of going for the easier machines, and the machines that are going to be working a whole lot different than how we have them set up at the moment, with logistics pipes and things. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and first up, let's just place out our machines. I'm actually going to need more program circuits than this. Now, I don't know why I only had 2 of those. I'm actually going to steal this program circuit from this bending machine because we won't be needing this anymore here in just a minute. Oh, and something worth noting, I did set up over here, I got a crafter set up to make stainless. So just a heads up, because we're going to be using that today. You know, we made a bunch of bulk stainless, but I'm actually pretty low on stainless now after all of this, and had to order 1 batch of it between episodes, or had to make like 1 little batch of it, and we're going to be needing a lot more stainless as we progress on, so I did go ahead and get that set up for us. But what we're going to do, you can see some signs, and they're actually rendering correctly today, which is great. So compressor input's actually going to be over on this side, but bending circuit number 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in some bending machines here, and then we've got bending circuit number 4, and so we're going to put in some benders right here. And what we're going to do, we'll start with bending circuit number 0. So bending circuit number 0 is going to have 0 circuits on it, you know, configured to 0, because of course we run into that situation a lot, especially when it comes to like making foil. I don't want to have to be changing out circuits based on what I'm crafting. You know, I just want bending machines set up that are dedicated to crafting, you know, with a specific configured circuit. So this one's going to have 0, this one's going to have number 4. Now of course we do need more bending machines, but these are the 2 major ones that I wanted today, because these are ones that do plates and they're ones that do foil, because our new circuits that we've been making take a lot of foil. So I want to go ahead and get that set up and automated. So our bending machines, what we're going to do, let's see, let's grab our crafting manager, and we are going to grab, let me actually pop down here. Let's see, do I just want to tear this room apart now, or yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So we're going to pull off our satellite logistics pipes. We'll start with 2. We'll do it little by little. So we're going to pull that off. And let me go ahead and pull off a result logistics pipe also. We're going to tear that room down after like today, and maybe at the beginning of next episode finish off. But so what we're going to do is we're going to put in, let me actually grab some blocks. I had this built out with cobblestone, and then like a ditz I tore it down. And now I need it back, because I was like, oh, I'm done back there. I didn't even think about the logistics pipes and actually being able to easily get back there for us today. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back in this area, and I'm going to go ahead and just build this out a little bit here. so we can comfortably get behind all of this. And we are going to attach satellite logistics pipes here, here. Actually, I need one more. Or let's go ahead and just get two more so we can finish off this one side. Actually, some of the machines that we're going to be automating today, we don't even have automated yet. That's how bad it is. All right, so we're going to plug up satellite logistics pipes here. And let me... This is compressor. This is bending circuit 0. So we're going to say compressor and save. And we're going to say bending number 0 and save. We're going to say bending number 4 and save. And what was this last one on this side? This is wiremill. Okay, so we're going to say wiremill and save. Now, if we find that we need more of these machines, we'll deal with that later on. But for right now, I think 6 of each is going to be pretty strong for HV. Probably overkill, but that's okay. That'll be all right for us, especially for some of these machines. I think it'll probably be overkill, but all right. So what we're going to do now is bending circuit number 0. We're going to say that you pull out on, we're going to use a little bit of different colors here. We're going to say that you pull out on red, and bending circuit 0, it's going to insert on red over here. Okay. And we're going to say the extract is going to, in fact, be green, and we're going to set that to auto, always active on these. And then we're going to say that the insert over here is on green. Okay, that's good. I don't really need both those connections realistically. Actually, all of this is connected up. Yeah, let me just snip that off. That'll save me on facades anyways. I only need this because if you notice, this is connected. It comes up here, runs over, and it connects through right there. So all this is one big circuit line. That'll save me a few item conduits also, so that's good. So extract is on green. That's good. All that's good. Okay. And then we're going to say bending circuit number 4. This is going to be extract on black, always active. And we're going to say that you can insert on black. You can extract on green, always active. Insert on black, extract on green, always active. And let me go ahead and just disconnect these. We're not going to be doing anything with the top slot there. And we'll go ahead and set up our wire mill and say that you extract on white, always active. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set up our logistics pipe system. Because like right now, the way we have it set up is, you know, it feeds to a crafting manager, which stores things in chests. Whenever it's ready, it pulls everything out, sends it to respective machines where it uses satellite pipes and result pipes to handle everything, right? But it's just one craft to one machine. But the way we're going to be setting up this time is using these chests, kind of like, sort of like, I guess, crafting managers or something. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to have a place to set up our crafting managers. I'm not entirely sure where I want these. Let's put them, I want them somewhere accessible for sure. And I'm honestly thinking we do 4 like right here, you know? And so that way we can access them and it's not going to cause any issues when we're trying to add or adjust recipes. And then we'll put the other 4 on the other side. So they kind of mirror the chest that they're related to. And I know this is 4 times Signalum and there's only 5. We're going to add more setups for that, but for right now that's all I've got in there at present. So alright, so what we're going to do, let's snip this off and replace it with a basic pipe, and then we'll just bring it up like that, I think. Yeah, and then we will do the same thing on the other side here, except I don't think we'll use a basic here. We'll just bring that straight up like that. Oh, I hate whenever it does that. There we go. Okay, so our crafting managers are connected up. And then what we're going to do is these are going to correspond to the chest that they're kind of adjacent to. So bending circuit number 0, we're going to set this to, the satellite pipe is going to be bending number 0. We're going to select that. There we go. And you'll see some other things in here. These are from downstairs. We're going to be removing those, so they're not actually going to matter for us. So bending number 0, this will be bending number 4. This will be wire mill, just plain wire mill, not wire mill wires LV. So just plain wire mill. This will be compressor. So there we go. The satellite pipes are now set up. Now the result pipe, it's going to be right here. And we're just going to plug in result pipe right there. And we're going to name this general in number 1. Because we're going to have more than one input, but this will be general in 1, which will handle these machines, probably a few more, because we're going to have some machines on the other side of these crafting manager over here, and then maybe a little bit farther down. But I'm not going to go too crazy because it's all going to be ran on conduit colors that are kind of handling all of this, so I can't go more crazy than like 16 colors, right? And we're going to be using 9 colors today. Alright, so then we're going to come through and just set all these up. The result pipes are all going to be general in number 1. Select. Just like if you recall downstairs, whenever we first set this up, we had just one result pipe that basically did 2 machines, right? In this case, we're going to have one result pipe that does a lot of machines. Now, we will probably need to speed this up. Well, I don't have the thing on me, but you know, we can add speed upgrades to it. We will be adding some speed upgrades because it's going to need them. Alright, so these are set up. So now what we're going to do, let's pop down and let's go get ourselves like a bending machine recipe. So this is so messy over here that I don't know what's what. It's probably one of these first ones. That would be a wire mill. That would be a bending machine. This would just be plates. So this would be just plain, you know, plain circuits. Oh, I can't shift to pull these out. I'm so excited for this. I've been so ready for this point because, like, even at the moment with like light automation, crafting all this stuff is a nightmare. It's about to be really, really easy for us. So then we just put all these into there. So all of our recipes are in. If we pop, this should all be connected. And for today's stuff, I'm going to pull our logistics request table up here just so we can request from up here. And let's say that we were to order, give me a full stack of iron plates. Okay, so we're going to request that. And if we give it a second, you can see they just came up and they got deposited into there. Is this not extracting? It's not. We're going to set that to extract. So they're going to get sent over to the bending machine, and I do need to put round robin enabled on these. Oh, you know, okay, hold on just a second here. Just hold on. So it got to the bending machines, right? We didn't have round robin turned on, that's fixed. But we haven't turned on the power. Derp. So basically the diesel's coming up here. What we're going to do, and you'll notice that I have pressurized fluid conduits that run up and over, and then they come around. Oh, it's on this side. They come around with the item conduits and they'll feed into the tanks here, or into the turbines here. So we're going to say that you can insert, I know they'll insert just fine as is, but I hate having the extract there. It's just a pet peeve of mine, so we're going to remove that on all of these. And right now we only have 3 turbo diesel generators, so we're probably going to run into some issues initially with power, but we'll get that sorted out. And then we're going to say that you can extract always active. Okay, so it's going to start pulling diesel out. It's going to start feeding it into our turbo diesel generators, and it should request some more here in just a moment and send it up because it drained that tank out. Of course, it's filling up buffers right now, which won't be an issue for too much longer because it's got a fair few buffers it has to fill up. It's about 6,000 on all of these at the moment, and I also need to set up over on this side. It needs to be extracting over here also, and filling up. Well, it's really just got 2 over here that it has to fill up, but it does need to start filling those up. So we're going to use a bit of diesel initially, but that's okay. So it should be good now to go ahead and run this. So if we throw in our 64 iron, it's going to get pulled out and sent to these bending machines where it's going to make plates. Those are going to get pulled out, and you're going to notice they're getting pulled out of the chest and sent back into the system where we requested them at, right? At a lot faster rate than when we only had one machine. It's already done a stack. And the reason I wanted to upscale this, you could say this is where we're going to have an issue whenever everything starts running in mass, but we're going to speed this up a little bit. It should help. And you're going to notice over here, not in here, but over here, we have 64 iron plates now. So we'll just dump those into the system. So it did crafts way faster, just with 2 bending machines. Wait till we have 6 bending machines. It's going to be like you order a bunch of different types of plates and they're just done, right? Because it's round robining them, and then it would only have a little over, it would be like 10 on most of them, and then like 4 extra spread out for a stack, right? You know, we'll have 4 of them that have 11. And it's going to make 11 plates in no time. So it'll be able to pump out stacks of this with ease, right? Bending circuit 4, I don't have any current recipes set up because we didn't have a bending machine set up to make foil, but that's going to be used for things like making our aluminum foil, where we have to use plates with configuration circuit 4 aluminum plates, right? So let me grab, just to get a recipe in there, for example. This makes 4, whoops. So that makes 4 aluminum foil per aluminum plate. So there we go. That's how you make aluminum foil. So we'll just go ahead and dump that into bending circuit 4. So for example, let's order ourselves a stack of aluminum foil. This is a multi-step thing. It's got to make the plates, then it has to make the foil. But if we order that, we should see a lot of aluminum start coming in to this bending machine. It's going to get sent back through, and then we should see it showing up inside of these bending machines where it's now making our foil for us. And you can see that foil is getting sent back through and sent over to the request table. So it's handling that perfectly. All's well. So now we can make foil. And this is all backed up on diesel. That's filled up. Beautiful. Beautiful. We're going to have like a crafting superstructure going before too long. Once we have all these machines set up, we'll be able to pump out machines like it's nothing. All this like recursive crafting steps, it's not going to be a problem for us. So next up we have the wire mill. Ready to get this set up because making wires, we do that so much and it's super slow. Not anymore. So we're doing white on this. So extract is on green, always active. Insert is on the white channel. And then same thing over here. Insert on the white channel. And that's pretty much done, right? That's all there is to the wire mill. That's set up. We've got the round robin is enabled. Let's go grab our wire mill recipes. And the nice thing is, if we find that we need to, you know, if we need more crafting managers, that's not a problem. You know, because wire mill, I will probably need more crafting managers, truth be told, because I mean, I barely have really anything in this set up, and just to kind of keep this a little bit more organized, I'm going to do that. And you know, I might even, I'm tempted to spread it out so that they match, they match the wire that they actually go to. So something like that, and then I'd do the fine wire for that. I don't know if I actually need fine wire for these, but if we need another crafting manager, they can be set up identical to this. It's not going to affect anything. You know, they can all feed into the same pipe. So these are just basically to store all of our recipes in mass at this point, and they don't actually have really any relation to the machine itself. They just, you know, you send them to that satellite pipe. It's that simple. The satellite pipe is what is actually kind of interfacing with everything. These basically just store recipes and do nothing else. We're not even putting the upgrades into these that we put in the last ones, because there's no point, at this point, there's no point in storing the materials up to make sure that we have space to craft these things. Because these are just straight up input, and we have a buffer here already kind of as a midpoint between when we order the craft and when the craft actually executes. So I think it's all pretty straightforward, but it's gonna help a ton. It's going to help an absolute ton. So let's order a bunch of gold wire. Alright, so there goes some gold wire. Awesome. So that's working perfectly. You can see it's chucking out that gold wire a whole lot faster than it had been with the LV machine. Just one of these is like a huge upgrade over LV, but two of them is just night and day. Okay, so that stuff's in place. Now let's go ahead and do the last machine on this side of the rooms, and then we'll go over to that side and finish out. So over here we have the compressors. Let's go ahead and grab these. We're going to put in compressors, and they're basically just going to get stacked up. This side's only going to be 5 of these machines, but I don't use compressors as much as I use bending machines and wire mills. Over here we have polarizers, lathes, and electric furnaces. We also have macerator, only 5 of them, but the only thing we're macerating is our ingots into dust, which is almost instantaneous anyways with an LV macerator. So really the HV macerators are a bit overkill, but long term I think they're going to be very useful for us. So our compressors, what was that? 1 second. Okay, it wasn't anything really. They were just playing. We're going to set this one to orange, extract, and make sure we set our round robin enabled. And then over here the compressor, insert on orange, extract on green, insert on orange, extract on green. And I think we already set up these. Yes, we did. Okay, so let me just pop down. Let me get our compressor recipes, and the LV compressor will be dead to us then. I honestly think it was like this one, no? That one? Yeah, we only have one recipe here that the compressor even uses, which is our iron blocks at the moment. There has been some other stuff that's come up, but basically, as we've gotten really, really close to doing the HV automation, I'm just kind of like, I'll deal with it later, you know, kind of a thing. And it was painful because whenever I'd order machines and stuff, it would be like, you know, I want to order a stack of plates, and it would be like a year waiting for it to finish. It's not going to be the case anymore, and I'm very excited about that. Okay, so that's going to feed over. Everything over there should be good. Now, if we pop over to the other side, grab my dolly, just to make this a bit easier. Bring that over. First up, we have the macerator line, and we'll just pick up from there. This was the last machine. The compressors and the macerators were the last ones because I was like, do I necessarily need these? After I had to make stainless, I was like, yeah, I need macerators. And then I was like, compressor, meh, whatever. Because buckets take a while to craft right now because the compressor is so slow. So this will make it a bit faster for us. So we're going to say round robin. Extract is going to be on magenta. Then over here, extract is always active. Insert is on magenta. Extract is always active. Insert is on magenta. And that's done. It's that simple. Now that we've got all the basic stuff set up, it's a whole lot easier. Now macerator, I don't currently have anything for that, but we're going to be setting up. Actually, let's go ahead and just do a couple recipes here. I'm going to grab 4 of these. And we're going to set up a recipe basically to set up for stainless. So if we want to get iron dust, it's going to take an iron ingot. So there's that one. And then if we want manganese, input an ingot, and you're going to get a dust. If we want chrome, and we're going to make some stainless here in a minute and be able to bask in the glory of the speed of this. It's going to be so much nicer. Okay, so there's that, and we're going to set this up. We're going to say the satellites. We did not set up the satellites for this, did we? Actually, I'd never even set up the satellites for this. So let me go grab those, which will mean that this system will be officially decommissioned at this point. It will cause a couple issues basically related to the alloy smelter and the assembler, but that's okay. I'll get those set up. It may be a little bit painful setting them up initially, but like I said, we'll start off next episode. I don't think we'll have time this episode, already having seen how much footage we have, but I kind of wanted to do this on camera because this is a bit of an overhaul, and actually kind of an exciting point for our automation stuff. So this is going to be the macerator line. Okay, so the macerator line, this is going to be the macerator, and the input, or the result, is going to be general N1. There's that. And then this will be polarizer and general N number 1. Okay, so that stuff's in place. And so now we should be able to order stainless and it can craft it. We'll order some here in just a second. But we're going to go ahead and set up these. The next up we have the polarizer. This is going to be extracting on the light blue channel, always active round robin. Lathe is going to be extracting on the yellow, and the electric furnace is going to be extracting on lime. And these are already set up. That's good. Alright, so the polarizers, of course these are cheap, so we made a lot of them. We're going to go ahead and set up all 6 of them. This will be our first machine to have all 6 of them. Which we do use a bit, and we're going to be using progressively a lot more. Extract on green, insert on light blue. This will be one of those times when copying conduits, if I had the tool on me, it'd be really, really useful, but I don't have it on me. I don't even think I've made one, which tends to be the case. I tend to not think about it until I actually need it, and then I'm like, well, it'd be quicker just to do it than to go make one, and then I just never end up making one. I'm bad about that. Okay, so there's the lathes, or the polarizers, I'm sorry. Polarizers are done. Next up are our lathes. And then we'll go get the recipes and stuff. So the lathes are yellow. There we go. And then the advanced electric furnaces. There we go. So that's all set up now. And then we just need to grab our recipes out. Okay, there's that. Awesome. So everything's converted now. The only thing, I think the only thing that's automated right now, well, the alloy smelter and the assemblers. But we're going to be doing a lot of different assemblers, and we're going to be handling that a bit different from how we have it handled at the moment. A big problem with the system that we have at the moment, and the reason we're not going to be setting alloy smelters and assemblers up the same way, they're going to be slightly different, but they're going to be pretty straightforward, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on them. But assemblers, of course, you have the fluid, you have the circuit, which can be variables, so you have to adjust recipes based on that. But a big issue that I ran into with the assembling machine, with this basic one, is things backing up and things coming into it out of order when we have the materials on hand to craft a multitude of different things, and with how much recursive crafting there is. Within this pack, I would end up having stuff in the chest or bouncing around in the logistics system, really. But what I would run into is things coming in if I ordered something that had a lot of recursive crafting steps, that had a lot of stuff going through the assembling machine. Some of the later circuits were a big culprit of this, where it would get like, 5 or 6 things that it needs to craft that circuit, but it would be missing like 2 of them and have stuff from some other craft in here, and I have to pull things out and manually manage it. I don't want to run into that anymore, so we're going to have more dedicated assembling machines than just one that handles this circuit and this fluid. It's not going to be as open-ended as that. Alloy smelter, kind of the same way. We're going to have more dedicated alloy smelters, so we're not mixing materials and we're not having to wait a long time either. So we're going to be handling those a little bit differently. Extruders, pretty straightforward, just based on what shape they are. Macerator we've already automated, and then we're going to be setting up fluid solidification and also doing rubber. We're going to be doing that a bit better as well. So, but we'll get into that. We'll cover it slightly at the start of the next episode, and that's all the time we'll spend on it probably. I do believe. So at this point, I think everything up here is automated and in place. I will be adding more recipes and more machines, of course. But I think 6 of each machine should probably handle this pretty well. So for example, let's go ahead and order ourselves a stack of stainless dust. Now right now I can't order the ingots. We will be setting up a blast furnace for crafting, stuff like that. You know, I mentioned it in the past. We actually already have some of the stuff crafted up. It's just I didn't want to until we got into full automation because it was just too much to craft for me to bother with it. So right now I'm still having to craft it in kind of the yeah, there we go. You can see how fast it breaks this stuff down. It's uber fast at handling this stuff. Yeah, that's done. I might actually need conduit speed upgrades on some of these things, like the macerators especially, because it's just not going to be fast enough. But you can see it's pumping that stuff out, and it's going to be going downstairs. So if we can make it in time, I don't think we made it in time, but it would be going down into there, going to the crafter and getting crafted into stainless, and there it goes. So at this point I can grab our stainless dust, and basically I just have to take it over to this blast furnace until I get it automated with a better blast, or with a dedicated blast furnace, right? But I can throw it in there and let that run. It's not super fast, but we're going to be making new coil blocks, so we'll get into that before too long. And from here it's already set up to automatically pull out and go back into our system. So I'll probably be running this thing about non-stop because it does take a little while right now. I don't know about what's our next coil blocks, which we haven't even updated our blast furnace to like HV and stuff. There's Kanthal, there's Nichrome. I think we can actually pull off Nichrome at this point. Right, Nichrome is just, we haven't got the vacuum freezer. I think that's what I was waiting on. So yeah, I think next episode what we're going to do, because we're going to need the vacuum freezer to go into space anyways, so that'll kind of start into our space stuff. So next episode, when we come back, what we'll do is we'll cover just a brief, like it might be 10 minutes, maybe, if that, of automation stuff, because we're going to be setting up assembling machines and alloy smelters. Set up our first few of those, get those in place, so that way we can cover kind of how the automation for those is going to work on camera. I'll also probably be setting up some extruders, because I'm going to want that, because I don't want to make, at this point, like, as we start moving into HV, I want to get to the point where I'm not having to make any of this stuff anymore by hand. One thing that I hate making, because I don't have it automated, and this will be something that we'll have automated like next episode, anything that's related to using pumps, I hate them. Because I have to make the stainless steel pipes, I have to make the rings, all that stuff. I don't want to have to do that anymore. I want to set up extruders, get those automated, so that I don't have to go in and change out the shape each time, because right now we only have the one extruder set up. Handling fluids, I want to get that automated. So we're going to start into a bit of that next episode, getting our assemblers, our alloy smelters, some extruders set up. Maybe 10 minutes of the episode, we're going to move through that pretty quickly, because it's not as drastically different of a setup as how we've got over here. It's pretty straightforward in the way that it works and the way that we're going to be setting it up. So we'll move pretty quickly through that, and then the back half of the episode we'll set up the vacuum freezer and update to a better blast furnace with new coil blocks, probably pushing on up to Nichrome. But we're going to get into the new blast furnace, cooling down ingots so we can start moving into better materials, and we're going to get the back half of our automation stuff in place. So this was actually a very exciting episode for me. It took forever to prep for, and it's something that we've been working up to. But now we can finally have fast machines. I kind of wanted to skip MV because Greg Tech, everything is so expensive that you don't want to automate every single tier, because you move through those first tiers so fast. So we kind of skipped MV automation for the most part, but we did some basic LV. HV will be the point that we actually go crazy with, because this stuff's going to carry through the rest of the pack a whole lot better than like LV would, right? Because the speeds here are actually really, really good. Especially when you have 6 of each machine, it's just like, it's super fast. So I think it's going to be pretty reasonable for us as we move forward. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out. and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.